Hey everybody, Joe from Britical Saiyans here, and today I'm going to be showing you Gotenks Apes, because, yeah, Apes don't have a specified leader, and this is the abusable yellow for the, I don't know.
Just yellow Saiyans in general now.
It's the abusable yellow Saiyan for the semester. I don't know why I'm dividing it into semesters, it's just a word we're using for division. Anyway, so Gotenks has the lovely auto. When this attacks, you can add up to one card from your life to your hand and then draw one card. So very much like the yellow Brody BR, I think it was Brody BR? Yeah. Very much like that. It's just add one from your life, add one from your deck when it attacks. The difference is that his auto is once per turn. If your opponent has one or more energy, when your opponent activates the next card, you draw a card. So that kind of continues on to the other side as well. I will admit now, in the matchup, I kept forgetting to do it on both sides. So
I forgot to mention as well. Not intentionally, I just genuinely forgot. Yeah,
we both kind of forgot. Like, obviously Matt was in the rush of playing his turn. I, however, was like, how do I live? So yeah, I know people are probably going to mention this. I did forget. I am a goofus, but hey, this is the deck profile, so as far as you know, I was great. Never mind, I just ruined it for myself. Anyway, so when your life's at 4 less, you can switch to energy back to active and awaken. So on this side, he has the auto when it attacks, draw a card. The once per turn is when your opponent activates the next card, you draw a card. Then you choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards and switch it to rest mode. So it does get a nice little tune-up.
Which would have been so relevant in some scenarios.
Yep. And his other auto is once per turn, when you activate Uniform Fusion, he gains 5k in a crit for the turn. That doesn't apply to Apes because there's no Monkey Fusion, so...
Well, you haven't put a Gotenks engine in, have you? You've got like a couple of Gotenks cards.
I haven't put any Fusion in here whatsoever, so it don't apply. So we're going to start off with the Unison cards. We have 4 copies of King Vegeta Royal Pride. It's pretty much the only Unison card you'd run this deck, except maybe like Mechibura or can't remember this right. Gogeta. I would run Gogeta, but I have one, so there's no point. And Mechibura is, yeah, it's difficult, so can't really run that. But we have King Vegeta, which is also good. So for a +1, if your lead card is yellow, what you know, it's yellow, surprisingly, you can look at up to 5 cards from the top of your deck, add up to one mono yellow grade 8 card from amongst your hand, then shuffle your deck. So every ape in here is yellow. Every card in here is yellow, except for like one, but it's multicoloured. So 2 actually. And then you've got the -4 of active main. Play up to 2 mono yellow grade 8 cards with different names and energy cost of 4 less from your deck, then shuffle your deck. So if you can get to the 4, it's really good, because then you can play 2 apes out from your deck, and then if they have auto on place abilities, they go off. Plus apes are just beat sticks with blockers, so you have an offensive defense as well, which is also good. Moving on to the extra cards now, we have 3 copies of Full Moon. So if you have a great ape in play, in your battle area, you can activate this card's active battle skill from your hand without paying an energy cost. And its active battle is, you choose up to one of your mono yellow cards, it gains 10k power for the battle, and if it's your opponent's turn, choose up to one grade 8 card in your battle area and switch it to active mode. So you can use this like an ape twice as a blocker, or if you played it in rest mode for some reason, or it's come out in rest mode, you can then switch it to active. And because it says mono yellow, you can target your leader when it's being attacked, or one of your battle cards. Next we have 3 copies of the Flying Nimbus. So if you don't know what Nimbus is for some reason, it is counter attack, you negate the attack, then you may place 1 yellow card in your hand in the drop, If you do so, your opponent can only attack one more time with battle cards for the turn. So, still really good negating yellow. Slight downside now that Unison's a thing, so your opponent could still attack you with a Unison and a lead card, plus a battle card, depending on how they do things. So, but yeah, it's kind of just... if you
Still
need
a card you have to play around.
Yeah, you still have to play around it, and if you need to negate in yellow, just Nimbus. If nothing else comes to mind, Nimbus. So next, we've got 2 copies of Giant Ball. So this is basically an upgraded Crusher Ball. So counterplay, the battle card being played, well, when the battle card is played, you may choose it, switch it to rest mode, then draw 1 card. So basically a Crusher Ball, whatever's coming to play, you can put it to rest and then draw on top of it, so which is really good. And then next we've got 3 copies of Planet Vegeta. So this is kind of a, well, this is a staple for the deck, and I know most people run it 4, but I've opted for 3. So it's a field. Its first auto is, at the end of your turn, you switch all Great Apes in your battle area to active mode. And then when you play in this kind of battle area, you choose up to 1 Saiyan card with an edge cost of 4 less from your deck, add it to your hand, then shuffle your deck. So search any Saiyan from your deck really, which basically covers the entire deck. And then at the end of your turn, all of your apes can go back to active mode, so they can all swing, and you can get them back, and pretty much every ape is a blocker, so yeah, really useful. Next I've got a single copy of Restrain. So again, it's counter attack. If your leader is yellow, negate the attack, then choose it from one of your opponent's battle cards and switch with edge cost of 1 less and switch it to rest. Just kind of ran it in there because it counts as 2 negates. Because its permanent is, if this is in your drop, you can activate it by paying its energy cost and removing itself and a yellow card from your hand from the game. But you can only activate it once per turn. So, but yeah, it's just there in case you need it. Next, I've got another single copy of Dark Dragon Slaying Bullet. I need to remember how to say that. So, counterplay, if you have a yellow unison card in play, this guy, if the battle card being played has an edge cost of 4 or less, it has its skills negated for a turn, and then it's played in rest mode. So, obviously just really useful because it can also stop autos, I think. No.
Autos will still resolve.
Okay, so autos still go off, but anything else that they could do with it.
Double strike, crits.
Active main.
Yeah.
So yeah. And then you can, if your energy is mono yellow, you can activate it by discarding 2 without paying its energy cost, but like I said, it's not necessary, it's just a nice little tech in.
It's if their autos are not play, basically.
Yes.
Turn player pending.
And then the last extra card is 3 copies of March of the Great Ape. So, active main, choose up to 2 Great Ape cards with an energy cost of 4 less from your hand, play them, then draw 2. I run it at 3 just because it makes it easier to see, and like you really need to play the 1. But if you ran 2, I feel like you charge 1 and then you just won't see the other. So I have it 3 because then I can charge 1, play 1, and then I have a backup for whatever I need. Because it might also end up in the life. So, but yeah, it's a handy card, draws your stuff and gets you battle cards for free. And ideally, if you can, you'd play this and then awaken so you only paid the 2 for it because we don't have Mecha Freezer. That's when this was really popular, Mecha Freezer. Look it up if you don't know what we're on about.
Pre-errata as well, yeah.
Pre-errata, obviously, but yeah, you guys need to see that. That's when it was worse. Anyway, moving on to the battle cards. We start off with 2 super combos, which are Counterblast and Gohan. So, like I said, the super combo Its first auto is if your lead card is yellow and your life is at 4 or less. When this card is used in a combo, you choose one of the following effects. So you can either draw a card, or during your turn, if your opponent has 5 or more cards in rest mode, choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards with an edge cost of 5 or less in rest and KO it. So, really useful during your own turn just to get a bit of board removal, but you can still use it as a draw, so it's kind of better than just having a one that's like 4 less draw card. Just gives you more utility if that's the kind of super combo you're going to run. And then its secondary auto is when this card is played, you choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards and switch it to rest mode. So again, helps you kind of get towards the second condition during your turn, because you can be like, pay 1, play it, put something to rest, then combo with it, and kill something.
But you draw before that bit.
No, you don't do both.
No, it's when it's played it draws a card, doesn't it?
No.
Oh.
That's Zeno.
Oh.
And our next one drop is 3 copies of Unwavering Solidarity Fascia. I'm going to say this now. I have Torahs and Fascias in this deck because I don't have Warcry, because I like having money to afford things that I need to do as an adult, like pay phone bills and stuff.
And you don't have warp to draw to.
Yeah, I can't remember the name of that one. Yeah, I don't have the other one that's like you can warp it from your drop by paying 2 to draw 2, but.
And you weren't able to get any of the anniversary because it went out of stock before you got there.
Yeah, I couldn't get the anniversary. I like having money, and I'm not dropping a lot of it on some apes. So, yeah, I have Fascias and Torahs in here. Just putting it out there. I'd love to run them if I could, justify spending that much on them.
It's if you got the anniversary and pulled it, you'd use it.
Yeah, it very much so. Like Matt said, if during the anniversary it was pulled, then yeah, I'd just be like, cool, gimme. But yeah, there we go. Get that out of the way, rip that band-aid off, and
ultimate budget right here.
yeah, this is actual budget build. Thank you very much. Yeah, come to us for budget builds. We're really good at it because we are real skinflints at times. Like, I want to joke about it, but it's serious. Like, we've in all the deck profiles, we do have ones where it's like, I run 2 of this because I only have 2 and I can't be asked to buy another one.
Sucks money.
Yeah. So yeah, Fascia, getting back to the card at hand, is a 1-cost blocker. She's in there for the Great Ape Fascia, so. But because I'm not heavily reliant on them anymore, I can run less. So there you go. Moving on to the 2 costs now. We have 3 copies of Unwavering Solidarity Torah. And he has the opponent of, if your opponent has 2 or more battle cards in play in rest mode, you can play this card from your hand without paying its cost. So you just get a free 10k on the board, and then when you get the Torah Ape, you have your evolution target. There we go. And our other 2-drop and super combo for the deck is 2 copies of Celestial Moderator. So super combo energy exhaust because it's mod coloured, and then its auto is if your leader is red or yellow, when you combo with this card from your hand, you choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards and it gets minus 10k power for the turn. So I have 2 of it because it's going to bring out the King Vegeta thing just to make all that easier. So, and yeah, I only run the 2 because you can't draw your cards, and once you've got King Vegeta out, you kind of don't need to use this until you want to play another one. Minusing's not a huge issue, I don't think. I know some people run 4, but I like having cards in hand. So yeah, I like to have draw power. Sue me.
Not that Broly 2.0 does that enough.
No, well, it doesn't when I remember. When I play it, it doesn't, because I don't remember to do its stuff. So, yeah. So going into the 3 costs now, we have 2 copies of Hidden Power Great Ape Fascia. So, It's 15k with blocker. Its first auto is during your turn, at the end of the battle after you combo with this card, choose up to one Fascia in your battle area and evolve this card into it. So place it on top of this one, hence the 3-2 split, because you need that more than you need this on the board. And then Fascia's other ability is auto. When the card evolves into this card, choose up to 2 of your opponent's battle cards and switch them to rest mode. So pretty useful, and it can just help you chain other effects. And the other 3-drop we have is 2 copies of Lord of the Great Apes King Vegeta. So he has 15k, and its auto is when you play this card, you choose up to 1 Great Ape with an edge cost of 5 less from your deck, add it to your hand, then shuffle your deck. So you basically get every Great Ape, because none of them have the cost above 5. Yeah, and then you add to your hand. And because we have the whole arrival shenanigan, we don't need as many of him, but it's still useful just for search power, in my opinion. Going into the forecast now, which is the bulk of the deck, we have 4 copies of Great Ape Bardock, Might of the Resistance. So he's got unique, critical and blocker and 15k power. His permanent is you can only play mono yellow Saiyan cards, which is easy. And his auto is if your leader is yellow, at the end of the battle when this card is used in a combo from your hand, you can play this card. So you can combo and then immediately bring them out inactive as well. So which is pretty good in your opponent's turn, because then you can just be like block, or in your own turn you can then start swinging with a 15k crit, but you can only have 1 out at a time. And the other thing to remember is he's Bardock Xeno, so you can't evolve on top of him with any other Bardock apes, but don't really run them in here because don't really have them. So there you are. But it's still just a really useful card, and it's basically a 1-cost ape as long as you combo. But yeah, you can't really argue with that. Next we got 3 copies of Great Ape Prince Vegeta. So he's got 20k, critical and blocker, and his auto is when you play a combo with this card, look up to 3 cards from the top of your deck, choose 1 Great Ape, add it to your hand. If you do so, place 1 card from your hand into a drop, then shuffle your deck. So it's a bit of search power. I feel like 3 of this card is kind of good enough, really, because you're primarily using him to search out, but if you can play him, you know, there's a bonus because he's a 20k crit and he's a blocker, so Pirate Vegeta will switch him back to active mode for you. But his auto is where, you know, like his main value comes, because you can search your deck for other Great Apes to then kind of continue plays. So, and then next we've got 3 copies of King Vegeta and Vegeta Royal Bloodline. Most because I have 3, so there we go, I'm running 3. So he's got 20k power, arrival red yellow by paying a yellow. Hence fact it works in his deck so well, because you don't need to charge, you don't need to charge itself so you can arrival it in, you just have to pay yellow. And because it's King Vegeta, you can evolve on top of it with the King Vegeta ape. And his auto is when you play this card, draw 1 card, then choose up to 1 of your opponent's battle cards in rest mode with an edge cost 3 or less and KO it. So, bit of board removal, and like I said, it's primarily your evolution type for that. So, our next 4-drop is 2 copies of Hidden Power Torah. So he's a block with 20k, and similar to Fascia, he has 2 autos. The first being of during your turn, at the end of the battle after you combo with this card, you can choose 1 Torah in your battle area and evolve it into this card. So you put it on top of this one, and then when the card evolves into this, you choose up to 1 of your opponent's battle cards in rest mode and KO it. So nice little kind of combo that was used a whole lot more before this anniversary set came out and people actually played Apes, was that you'd have these two on the board, you'd then do a combo in your turn, go into Fascia, put something in rest mode, then go into Torah and kill that thing. So, hence I kind of have an even split on them and similar split of like 3-2, because it's still useful. Put stuff in rest mode, which helps in yellow, so can't really complain. And finally, the last cards in our deck is the 5-drop Absolute Defense Great Ape King Vegeta. So he has 25k power. He evolves for 2 yellow and any energy on top of a King Vegeta, which, like I said, this is our main target because you just pay 1 to bring it out basically. He has double strike, and then the 2 permanents of, first one being all yellow Saiyan cards in your battle gain barrier, and then the secondary permanent is reduce combo cost of all Saiyan cards in your hand by 1. So obviously that becomes 0 cost, which where the utility in the Apes came in because you basically paid nothing for a 10k combo, and then like with Fascia and Torah you could just evolve straight on top of 1. So you just like swing, 10k combo, evolve, effect. It's what made him really dirty and still makes him quite good. And you kind of have to run 4 King Vegeta because you need this to hit the board on turn 3 by paying 3. And additionally, if you can awaken, you'll get 2 of your energy back, so you paid 1 for it. So it's not really a bad thing. And yeah, it makes up the deck, because once you've done that you get everything going. So that all being said and done, that is the Gotenks 8 deck profile. So thank you guys for watching. Leave any thoughts and opinions in the comments below, because we love seeing them. And as always, I'll see you next time. Bye.